So, for shits and giggles, I decided to talk about some of my favorite Stormhawk ships and why I like them and what I think of them and what I've done with them in the past, to some extent. Now, some of them may be, some of them are the typical ships, I guess. But for the most part, yeah, there are some that have gone quite off the beaten path, and I'll give my reasons why I kind of ship those characters together. Some of them are the definition of crack shipping. I'll be the first to say. So, let's talk about my first and foremost favorite one, and this was actually the first ship that went out of the harbor for Stormhawks, and that was Repton and Starling. Mostly because I kind of dig the Beauty and the Beast vibe going on between the two, and let's face it, it's very clear that the Raptors are based on very barbarian type, a very barbarian type society. Very much like the Vikings or the Spartans or something of that degree. And yeah, Repton as a leader would definitely, if he wants powerful heirs, he would definitely want a powerful mate. And I'm pretty sure beating his ass in a fight would definitely qualify as, I want you in my bed now. So, yeah, they never got to, have their big final revenge fight. That was taken by Stork. But I always kind of thought of it that Repton would be like, oh, I so want this girl's punani. It is, like, there is nothing else. I don't care. She's human. That makes me want her more. Yeah. And but here's the thing. A majority of it would not be romantic. It would be straight hate fucking. Like, just straight up hate fucking. There's something wrong with the relationship, and this was the only catharsis they could reach without it getting violent. So, there you go. Like I said, this is the first ship to leave the harbor for Stormhawks, and I really enjoy it. I think, I've had a lot with them together as a family, having kids, twins in some cases, or one kid in another. Starling, I feel like if had she, been with Repton, I'm pretty sure she would have adapted to, she seems like the type of woman who could adapt to the raptor culture very quickly. Like, she could just instantly adapt to the raptor culture in an instant. Like, because I think she would understand that kind of level of brutality and aggression, because it's clear she's kind of gone through that herself. So I feel like she would understand that level of, understand the kind of laws of, the laws of their kingdom very quickly, and should anyone get out of line, she'd beat their ass down and prove, I am the queen, This is the reason why, this is why Repton chose me to, to be in his bedroom. This is why I'm your queen. Anyone else want to fight, you get a broken jaw. That's the way it goes. So there you go, Repton and Starling. Following that is Aerrow and Piper. What more do I need to say about Aerrow and Piper? It is so kawaii, it's ridiculous. Those two were fucking meant for each other. It's also very clear, depending on how you look at it, in the early this was one of the first, and I could be, mistaking it because, there's so many animated shows out there, I tend to forget, but if I'm not mistaken, this was one of the first interracial animated couples. Had it been canon, had they decided, well, it was for all intents and purposes canon for all of us because of how they treated one another, especially in the second season. Yeah, this was one of the first interracial couples, which was kind of a big, it was kind of they didn't make a big deal out of it. That's what I like. They didn't make a big deal out of it at all. It was just another couple who, had different ethnicities. And that was fine. No one, no one brought that to attention because I'm pretty sure that's not a big deal in Stormhawks. For fuck's sake, I ship an interspecies relationship. So, yeah, there's no of course nowadays it would have been brought up as a big thing, but now you see it everywhere with like Stephen and Connie and several other places, several other animated shows here and there. But back then, it was kind of like, look at that, moving on. But yeah, Aerrow and Piper are just meant for each other. Second season, they really laid on that Piper wanted Aerrow's dick. I am not even joking. She clearly wanted to jump his bones at some point. She was just like I was kind of, there's actually a fan fiction I read, I can't remember the title of it, but it was basically a Stormhawks fan fiction where Aerrow and Piper were dating, and Piper wanted to take it to the next level And, basically you all know what that means by next level. And Aerrow is totally oblivious, and Piper's just not having this shit. Like, she just has to say, I want sex. And Aerrow just goes, oh, okay. Like, he's confused. Yeah. So that was kind of how it was. Anyway. But yeah, there's not much else I could say about Aerrow and Piper that hasn't already been said already. Moving right along. Now this one's a little more interesting, and I don't think anyone shipped it outside of one or two fanfics I've seen here and there. Tiny little thing. And I'm going to explain why I think why this ship works. It's a crack ship, straight up. And that crack ship is none other than Suzy Lu and Finn. Yeah, Finn and Suzy Lu. Reason being, well, they're both very fun-loving, they both are very relaxed, they're both very, they're skilled, and when the time comes, they know when to, throw down. But at the same time, they know how to relax and tell a lot of jokes and have a lot of fun. So, and, yeah, I feel like we don't know if Finn it's very clear that Finn's into human girls. We don't know if he would be willing to be like, hey, that Blazarian over there is kind of hot. Yeah. So, that'd be the big thing, like, Finn and Suzy Lu would, again, be another interspecies relationship. But I think it could honestly work on the grounds of, they're both very fun-loving, it's very clear they're willing to try anything. And, yeah, I could just see them having, it would probably be a booty call. Like Suzy Lu would be like, hey, Finn, how good are you in bed? Come on over. That's kind of how it started. It wouldn't be Finn calling her. She'd be calling Finn and being like, look, I'm bored, I'm horny, and I'm on the pill. Get over here. And Finn wouldn't question that. He'd be like, but she's a 6-foot-tall cat rabbit woman. Man, this is going to be good. Anyway. But no, I think they would be after that kind of initial part of their relationship, I could see the two kind of like kicking back, having a lot of fun, loving each other's company, and just kind of picking on everybody else. Like, could you imagine Finn and Suzy Lu just running around the Condor pulling pranks on everybody else, as well as the Absolute Zeros? Yeah. And also, Finn wouldn't keep his mouth shut. He'd be like, hey, Aerrow, hey, Aerrow, guess who I'm sleeping with? Leader of the Bizarrians. Yeah. And the reason why you're probably thinking, well, she's the leader of the Absolute Zeros, not the Blazarians. Well, I've kind of had it in my headcanon. It's never been confirmed, so this is kind of my Stormhawk's headcanon, that Suzy Lu is quintessentially the matriarch of the Blazarians. She's pretty much the leader of not just the Absolute Zeros, but of her own people. Because yeah, they're kind of they're refugees, so they all kind of look to her as like the big matriarch of the whole Blazarian people. They're refugees quintessentially. They don't really have a leader. We don't know if they have a working government. So I've kind of had in my headcanon that when Cyclonus took over Blazaris the first time around, they all looked to Suzy Lu after their government got dismantled and went, hey, look, we have nobody. We want you to lead us, please. We have nothing. Anyway. So there you go. And I feel like Finn would be kind of serious around her in some cases, but I feel like the two would definitely get along very well. Despite Finn being the shorter of the two. Excuse me. Yeah, he would definitely be having to lean on his toes to get to her, because if you haven't noticed yet, Suzy Lu and her whole kind are pretty frickin' tall. Yeah. Plus, could you imagine, like, he would, like, I'm just kind of imagining, like, the snuggle, the cuddling part after the whole dirty deed is done, and Finn doesn't need a blanket, he just grabs onto her fur and being like, it's like I'm being warmed up in a hug, and she's just like, you're a fucking idiot. Anyway, so there you go, Finn and Suzy Lu, and why I like it. Here's my other crack ship that I really enjoy. And this is just for, I really like this one. I really do. And I've got some legitimate reason, but I know it's a crack ship through and through. And that crack ship is Master Cyclonus and Perry from, if you guys remember Perry, she's pretty much Piper's, like, copycat, Piper's copycat from Terra Clockstopia. She's the princess of that Terra, and yeah. Now, this ship is more or less, again, kind of like Repton and Starling, but it's a very Beauty and the Beast kind of feel to it. Yeah, it's kind of like Repton and Starling, where it's very much Beauty and the Beast. In this, I've always kind of had it that Cyclonus has more or less come to court the princess. She's got an open, she's not really the ruler of the Terra yet. She's the princess and can rule over Clockstopia, but to solidify her rule, and this is my headcanon, by the way, we're going again into headcanon territory, is that to solidify her rule, she has to quintessentially marry somebody or it goes back to the regent. So she pretty much puts out this open call saying, hey, Terra Clock, the princess, I'm kind of looking for a husband or someone to spend my life with. Please, I need someone, or I'm going to lose my position. And Cyclonus comes in to court her. Cyclonus comes in to court her because there's no real law saying, it doesn't have to be a dude. I have to marry, the regent's all like, you can't marry a woman. There's no law, there's no law that says you can marry a woman. And Perry's just like, there's no law that says I can't marry a woman either. So that's how it kind of is. And Cyclonus initially is more like, all right, I marry this woman, I become queen of Clockstopia and Cyclonus. The Stormhawks and no one in the Atmos can touch me because I will be legally married to her. And unless she divorces me, which I'm going to make sure she doesn't, I get to rule Clockstopia, I get a hold of all their minds, all that shit is mine now. And no one can stop me because I rule. I'm officially the queen since I've married, I married Princess Perry. So that's kind of the thing, is that initially, she just did it for the crystals, she just did it as a power play to get over Clockstopia. And I've always had, this cute image in my head of them playing, Perry and Cyclonus, playing with the doll, with the puppets she made, like Dr. Ogre, and I can't remember the other doll's name. But yeah, the two playing with the dolls together, and Perry's just having the time of her life, and Cyclonus is just like, God, kill me. But no, it eventually does become a mutual love between the two. Because Perry is Perry's very outgoing, she's everything much like Piper, and let's face it, we're all pretty sure that Cyclonus, she laid it in a little too hard at some points in Best Friends Forever, didn't she? Didn't she? She laid it a little too on the nose of being like, I want to sleep with you. So, initially, she'd be there for the crystals, but eventually I feel like, Perry's energetic nature, as well as, wanting to be feeling like a legitimate ruler, something that Cyclonus herself, I'm pretty sure, she's still very young, despite being one of the most powerful beings in the Atmos. I'm pretty sure at her young age, she had to, make sure, she had to solidify her throne, her claim to the throne. So that's something I feel like her and Perry would connect over, is that, yeah, we're young, not a lot of people believed in us when we got the throne, but we're going to get shit done, and we're going to do it together now. So that's kind of the thing, is that, I've also had this, I've always kind of written it that the Regent's trying to take back power, and Cyclonus catches on to the Regent, and Regent, an attempted assassination, a failed assassination attempt on Cyclonus' life, and, he fails, and he's like, oh, Cyclonus, it's a miracle you're alive! And Cyclonus just replies with, oh, it'll be a miracle all right, Regent, if you survive what I have planned for you. And, yeah, that's kind of the big thing between the both of them, really. Yeah, so, you can just now imagine, Snipe and Dark Ace or a pair of Talons dragging away the Regent while he's crying like a bitch, and Cyclonus is gonna be like, you okay, sweetie? You hurt? Okay, good. Okay, I'm gonna go torture the Regent. I'm gonna send you pics. It's gonna be amazing. I'm gonna gut him and strangle him with his own intestines, cause, did he oh my god, he smacked you. This motherfucker's dead. I'll be right back. Sweetie, I will be right back. I'm gonna go put a cap in his ass. That's kind of how it would go, because I'm pretty sure if Cyclonus ever had a relationship with someone, whether it be same-sex or not, someone of a different gender or species, because again, Atmos is full of different people, she would latch on, definitely, and no matter if it was man or woman, she'd wear the pants in the relationship. There is no, I'm going to let someone else lead. No, I am leading. And if there is any problem of anyone being hurt, I'm pretty sure the wrath of God would come down on anyone who smacked her, whoever she was holding affection for. So imagine if the Regent, in this situation, the Regent, hit or hurt in any way, shape, or form Perry. In comes Cyclonus, sees that, and it will not be a good time for the Regent. Let's just say that. Oh man. But yeah. That's kind of the whole thing right there, guys. Those are kind of all my big Stormhawk ships, quintessentially. Aerrow and Piper, Repton and Starling, Cyclonus and Perry, and Suil L and Finn. So you guys tell me, what are some of your favorite Stormhawk ships? Just comment below, let me know. Let me know why you like them. I'm pretty sure I'm going to be getting someone by the name of Carlotta on here. Can't wait to see what you have to say about all this. Especially you, Carlotta. But anyway, so once again, hope you all enjoyed this, and I will see you guys later.